I think Arsenal have the depth to win the Premier League currently, says Jala. No, not really. Well, no, I mean, what I would say about Arsenal is they are 5 points clear of Manchester City. If they win today, they're 8 points clear of Manchester City. And they've got to play Man City home and away. And they could lose both those games. So that would be 6 points cut away. And then it's down to 2 points. So that's always the fear, isn't it? I mean, Pep's not writing that title off at all. They can still win this title. I would marginally say Man City are still favourites to win the title, even though they lost yesterday, because the gap that Arsenal have is big. And I was speaking to an Arsenal fan a couple of weeks ago, and it opened my eyes. They said, the problem is, this gap we've got, everyone's going, oh, Arsenal this, Arsenal that. We haven't played Man City. And we don't know what we're like against Man City. And we really wished we could have played Man City back in the autumn when it got postponed, because we were in a good place then. When we play Man City twice, will we have everybody back? Will we have a couple of injuries? Will Man City be in form? They're not in form at the moment. So if they beat us home and away, that's a 6 point gap gone. And then it's suddenly pressure time, isn't it? So Arsenal fans aren't really, overly confident at the moment because there's still a long way to go. We're not halfway through this Premier League season yet as well, which is weird for people to get their head around. But I look at that Arsenal side and I think it's a good side. I mean, Nketiah is a weak link. I don't care what anybody says. He's not Jesus. And you go to the bench, and I look at Arsenal and I go, they've got a very good first 11, best 11 in the Premier League this year. Now, everyone knows that. But on the bench, Smith Rowe back is a boost. Holding's average. Tomiyasu's okay. Tierney's a good player. Lokonga's okay. Vieira's okay. Marquinhos is okay. Turner and Smith. It's just not enough. That is not enough in a season like this, unfortunately. So they've got to get that Mudryk money and spend it, because they need a little bit more. But you know what? I've been saying this about Man United. I worry about United because I don't think we've got the depth either. So I might be completely wrong. Maybe Arsenal and Man United will defy logic, not pick up many injuries. Players will come in for them like Nketiah, score the goals. I've seen Liverpool do it before. Not this season, but they lose a Van Dijk or they lose a Salah for a couple of games, or the African nations, and you think they're going to drop a load of points, and they'll grind out 2 or 3 wins without those players. And that's what you've got to do. When you haven't got your best players available, you've got to find a way to grind a way out. And one thing that Arsenal do have is a system, a team, and Manchester United have it as well. So, Fred came in for Man United yesterday and was fantastic. He's not really a starter. It's normally Casemiro, Eriksen and Bruno, but he came in yesterday. He was better than Eriksen. And it was a fantastic result for Manchester United. Because there's a system in place, there's a coach. And Arteta's got that at Arsenal. So, Arsenal's form without Jesus isn't that bad. The HPN says, would you sack Conte? I sort of want to do a poll here. Would you keep Conte after this summer is what I'm going to say. Because I think that next year, let's say that. Would you keep Conte next year? I think that's a good question to ask, and then we'll talk about that, so get involved. Interesting enough, according to XG stats, Manchester United averaged 2.37 goals expected against the top 6 and 2.95 against the bottom 6. United struggles creating against mid-table teams with a 1.17 XG. Billy, that's really interesting. But who is a mid-table team this year? It's very hard to say who a mid-table team is, because if you're going down to Chelsea, are they a mid-table team? Well, they are 10th, but Chelsea are going to go up. Liverpool are going to go up. So I'd say Chelsea and Liverpool are both teams that are trying to get high into the top 7 or 6 for Europe. So I wouldn't say Liverpool and Chelsea are mid-table teams. Brentford, you can't call them mid-table, or Fulham or Brighton, because they're in 8th, 7th and 6th. From 13th place, I think you've got Forest all the way down to the bottom. They're relegation teams. So really, there's only 2 teams I'd class as mid-table at the moment, which is Villa with 25 points and maybe Crystal Palace with 22, but Palace look like they're getting sucked down. So I'd say the only real mid-table team at the moment is, to me, is Aston Villa. But players are in the tunnel here. Looking forward to this. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. Get involved with That's Football. You're all really welcome. George Lucas has given us a super chat. You can do that through the $sign. He says, I really think James Ward-Prowse would be great signing for United. Not to start every game, but would be effective in rotation with Eriksen and could bring good leadership too, says George. I think he's about 28 now. I think if Southampton go down, he'll definitely move. Conte will leave by himself. He never stays, says Grant. Yeah, just to answer the Conte question, 57% say he should stay next year. I think if Spurs don't do anything this year and they get knocked out, sorry, if Spurs don't get top 4 and they don't win anything, I think Conte will go because Kane's going to go. Kane's going. So, yeah, I think it could be a season of disruption for Spurs if things don't go well. Can Spurs get top 4? They've done it before. I just don't see a rhythm with Spurs this year. I don't see a rhythm. What's your plans in the January transfer window as well? Because Kulusevski and Bentancur made such a difference last year. Have you got something like that up your sleeve? Because I think you need it. Mark, I'm dating myself with this comment, but United feel like this Major League, they are winning despite the incompetence of the board, says Anthony Johnson. Okay. A few people have mentioned that. What do you think about the offside from yesterday, Mark? Well, I didn't want to say anything about it yesterday because I wanted to enjoy the win. But I've had so many messages. You know, even my dad, who's a Chelsea fan, messaged me and said it's disgusting. Like that's, he said I wanted you to win because I know you support United. I've got no love for City, but that was disgusting. That offside decision was so wrong. I have to stop myself from laughing. I'll take it. I'll take it every day of the week. I was over the moon with it. I really, really was. But if you saw my reaction, I was, I was trying to hope that we were going to get a goal. I was going, oh, Rashford didn't touch it. But if that happens the other way, you wouldn't shut me up until next Friday. I'd be writing letters to my local MP. I'd be disgusted because there's absolutely no... I mean, there's that game of curling. You know, they play it in Scotland where you bowl something on some ice and then they're all polishing the ice in front of it. It looks like I'm polishing something else. But yeah, they're doing that to make the ball move. And they can't touch it, but they're trying to make it move. And it was like that with Rashford yesterday. He was like shielding the ball so it could go to Bruno. I mean, he's totally interfering with play. I don't know whether technically the referee and the linesman and BAR got it right. They probably need to change the rule. And hopefully that will change the rule. But I don't know whether technically it was offside. Maybe it wasn't. But it should be offside in the future. Just after yesterday. Let's put it this way. Hopefully Manchester United have highlighted a loophole in the law and they can change it. Because Man City fans moan. I've been meaning to say this. Was it against Aston Villa a couple of years ago? Man City were playing Aston Villa. And there was some weird thing that they changed the rule afterwards. I think it was like the Man City player was in an offside position. It hit Tyrone Mings or something, and then they went and scored. And it was a stupid loophole in the rule, and they changed it after that. So Man City can moan, but I remember that one.